Hi, I'm AARP member David W. Taylor, and for my Sunflower Scoop, I'd like to share with you today some tips on how to purchase an acoustic guitar.
So a couple of things to mention on my video. Number one, we'll make the assumption that you're purchasing a beginning guitar for, let's say, a beginning player, perhaps yourself or a grandchild or friend. The second assumption is these are some of the more common questions I've been asked as a former guitar teacher and someone who's been playing for 40 years. There's plenty of other questions that you can ask about guitars, but for this video, I'm just going to cover some of the more commonplace questions that I get asked. Question number one, well, where do I buy an acoustic guitar? The most obvious answers are you could go to a local guitar brick and mortar store that's in your hometown or local area, or these days, you can also now purchase from online stores that you find on the internet. Almost all stores, be they local brick and mortar or online stores, allow you to try out your instruments for a certain number of days, and if you're not satisfied with your purchase, you can return or exchange for another instrument. Question number two that I get asked a lot, what's typically the cost when purchasing a beginner acoustic guitar? Well, this is a pretty general answer, but typically it's somewhere between $150 and $350 for a beginner model acoustic guitar. Now, of course, that number can vary. There's all types of situations, but roughly that's what you can expect to pay. If you have it in the budget to go on the higher end of that scale, I always suggest to people get the best quality you can purchase. The reason why? That helps the beginning player learn easier on a higher quality guitar. And if it turns out they end up not wanting to play the instrument, you always have a better instrument for resale. Question number three that I frequently get asked, should I get a nylon string or a steel string acoustic guitar? The answer to that lies somewhere in what type of music you plan on playing once you've learned to get proficient at playing. Typically, nylon guitars are for classical guitar players or flamenco guitar players. Steel string is typically what you hear more on the radio with pop, rock, country, some jazz, but it's up to you. Now, another question is, will I get calluses if I play a steel string? The short answer is yes. You'll also get calluses if you play a nylon string. And what I suggest to beginning students is look at this like you're an athlete in training. There's going to be a little bit of soreness when you first start out until you get your body built up to be able to do what you're trying to do. So yeah, there's a little bit of soreness with calluses, but you'll build those up. And it's not a big of a deal as many people make it out to be. Okay, what are some things to check for when purchasing an acoustic guitar? There's quite a few things, actually. Let's start with the size of the guitar. There's many different body styles and sizes, and as a general rule of thumb, think of what the size of the player is. Is it a smaller child where you should get a smaller body size guitar? Or is it someone with larger hands who could handle a larger size guitar? The type of music you're playing. Larger body instruments tend to project more volume. Smaller body instruments are a little bit more intimate. So all of those things are considerations you'll want to make when deciding on the size of the guitar. Another consideration to check for is to ask the salesperson you're working with, how's the string height, or sometimes referred to as the string action? Does the store that you're buying from, do they set up the guitars so that the string height is comfortable to play? Another important thing to check on beginner model guitars are the frets. Are they properly aligned on the neck to where they're parallel from each other? you can look and see and tell whether they're lined up properly. You also want to check, are the frets properly filed down on the sides of the neck? You don't want frets overhanging to where they clip your fingers as you're sliding your hand up and down the neck of the guitar. Tuning machines are an important component on any guitar. You want to make sure that the tuning machines on your beginning model guitar are high enough quality that they don't slip while you're playing the instrument. Now, keep in mind that guitars are wood instruments and they will expand and contract based on things like changes in temperature, if you haven't played the instrument in a while. So there are instances where the pitch of the strings will change just based on normal factors of a wooden guitar. But you don't want the pitch of a string changing because the tuning machines slip. So be sure to ask the salesperson you're working with about the quality of the tuning machines on the instrument. The last item to check when purchasing your acoustic guitar is, does the price you're paying include a case? A case will keep your new instrument protected and safe from the elements and from getting banged up or getting dings.
So thanks for watching my video today. Happy picking, and we'll see you next time.